Hello, and welcome to Total Chaos. And this is again part of my coverage of the Steam Next Fest. And this is a kind of surreal looking horror game. So, what kind of caught my eye with this, it looked very kind of realistic and atmospheric. And that's kind of all that I really need to see. I looked at screenshots and that, and it's like billing itself as like a survival horror game. So let's see what it's like. Ooh, just thinking about it. I could handle it. I had already gone through much worse. At the end of the day, I still had me. I knew who I was. April 1972 was when it all began. I was working as a coast guard. I received a distress call from a damaged offshore boat. After packing my belongings, I left a bit quick for me, but I'm assuming it said like to go and check it out, to investigate. It's a bit loud actually. Let's just... Oh, I can actually steer the ship. Oh. If we see tentacles come out of the water, that's when we have to be a bit distressed. We're gonna get jump scared, aren't we? That's the only reason they ever cut all the sound. Okay, well, I can certainly say the whole it looked really atmospheric and cool in the screenshots is holding up. It does. Hey, look, we didn't crash the ship. Right. We hallucinated some stuff. Or maybe not hallucinate. In fact, I'm trying to see if the windows are smashed. No, I think they're fine. I think it was just a hallucination. Possibly, maybe. Lots of fog. There's no other way. Okay. Very spooky. Right. Classic flickering light. And we're in a sewer as well. That's a fair point. The static sounds like it's coming from back here. Yet it isn't. Now it sounds like it's coming from down here. It's kind of weird. Like, one thing I've noticed already, there's like this really heavy sort of, how to describe it? Like, the way that your character moves feels heavy, but in kind of like a good way. Like, I might actually want to just turn up the horizontal sensitivity actually. Controls. Crouch should be a toggle. Oh, we've got a dodge button. Okay. The steering's back, but yeah, your character feels like, yeah, heavy when they're moving. It feels, I think it's to do with like the head bob they do, it's in time with the steps. Coastal key, they're gone. They're gone, they're all just gone. My paradise, something has taken it over. This isolation is killing me. Letters of information found scattered are saved into your personal journal. But yeah, so it's... I think it is just a head bob. I don't know, it makes the walking feel weighty. I don't have to like interact with this to bring the key up or something, do I? Or... Oh wait, that's something. Health, stam boost, bleed, hunger, madness. That doesn't sound good. So circle is dodge. Oh, crouch. Crouch is where the sprint button normally would be. That's going to get me in trouble. Right, so we found a key, but I haven't found a door for said key. Ah, maybe this will work, yeah. Press inventory at any time to see what items you are carrying. From here you can equip weapons and use items vital to keeping you alive. Medkit, meat can. Okay, I can't like drag them onto each other to craft something or something, but... Oh. Oh, I've acquired the really annoying walkie-talkie. And some rotten apples. Wonderful. Right. Guess we're going in here. There we go. Well, it's haunted. Right. All the food is rotten, of course. I like that it were kind of like, ooh, here's a weapon, because there's always this kind of, whenever you're given a weapon in a horror game, you're like, oh my god, right, here it is, the first encounter, we're fighting a monster, you know, and you clench your sphincter ready for it, and the fact that they've kind of gone and done, oh, no, you're gonna smash some boards open, of course. It's quite good. So it says I can swing 3 times before I get tired. Not true. I can swing a lot more, but 3 is the end of the combo. So does that mean there's a... Ooh! Yes, there is a heavy attack. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Or you can go 1 charge, 2 charge. Ah. And it uses up the amount of stamina that you've charged up at the bottom. I actually quite like that system. That's quite elegant. But it looks like there will be combat then. Oh, it is destructible, the box. I was wondering then. One thing you always want to avoid in games is... What would you call it? Oh, we might need that actually. Actually, can I jump? So, okay, so what I thought was the jump button, so A on the Xbox pad, or it'd be X if you're on a PlayStation controller, is actually block. So that's like a parry. And we've got a dodge. Yeah, the controls are kind of all over the place. And then the journal is... Journal's where I'd probably put the inventory button. Yeah, if it weren't a demo, I would probably completely remap the controls at this point. Yeah, I don't think the actual... Like, it sounds like that's coming from behind me, but I don't think it's actually... The directional audio on it seems to be a bit bugged. Like, it's not where it's actually coming from. Charge halfway delivers a stabbing attack, doing moderate damage, charging in full bar, does a deadly swing, hurting multiple enemies at once. The phone is ringing. It wants you. Will it... Yeah, so a full swing will get you straight through a doorway like that. There are a lot of false positives here, aren't there? Can evade while crouched? You can't. See, I would have allowed the player to do that, but it should take them... It should make them leave being crouched when they press the button. Unfair. Why me? 237. If we come across some kind of safe or something like that. Right, we need a foreman key. Oh. Requires a key. Yes, requires a key. Yep, you can see it's locked up. Uh-oh. They can break. How many times do I have to tell you about door 237? Because of your stupidity, when we tried to open the security gate, the entire block's grid went offline again. Until you have the wiring fixed, we have to disable all couplings just to open the door. You can't even do your job right. If this incompetence continues, you'll be asked to leave. I will not give another warning. Right. Okay. Disable all of them. I'm guessing this is when we should have been paying attention to where they all are. Four. And I'm stuck. Three. Two. There might have been one this way. No, there wasn't. Oh, there was. There was. One, and that's next to the door. I don't know if he's like alerted by sound or anything, but either way, let's just be quick and leave. Right. Lovely. We'll want to hide or something then, I guess. Or, you know, just quickly make sure he's not following us. I'm gonna guess that that's probably a weak enemy. Pick up bandages. Oh! There we go. Well, that's nice and reassuring. Minor healing reduces hunger, gives an energy boost, allows faster attacks. Ah. Salami. Well, at least it's not rotten salami or... Got a meat can, some rotting bread. I mean, I will admit, like, out of all these, the most disgusting is probably the apples. Like, if I were gonna be... If I was stuck in a survival horror scenario and it were like, right, you can either have the rotten bread or the rotten apple. At least the bread, you can, like, very clearly see on the bread which bits are green and just, like, pick around them. But with an apple, it's kind of concealed by the skin. So you would have to kind of... You'd probably want to, like, peel the skin off and then, like, check which bits are completely gone before eating it. Problem is you'll go, okay, well, I'll, do that, but if it's at the point where you can see the mold on the outside, on the actual skin itself, it's like, oh yeah, the thing's just completely gone. Don't even bother. But with bread, you can at least kind of like pick around it. Cannot climb up. If I can get into those areas to like get these radios and that, I don't know if there's a way, because I can't find a jump button. Need the tunnel key. Oh, I can hear something. Right, there's definitely going to be some down here, aren't there? No idea. It looks like there's something there, but I think it might just be like a map geometry glitch or a bit of a lighting glitch. Right, so it looks like there was something shimmering then, but... I'm gonna get lost in here. Okay. I see what the puzzle is. So sword, and it's pointing down. So we want the sword to be pointing down. Got it. So we're looking for graffiti. Right. Well, I didn't see any there. Right, okay, Omega, and when we can see, pointing to the left. And that's where the key is. Right. Well, left in this case. But yeah, okay. We've got something. Then we've got that. Right. I think that's like a symbol to do like Hinduism or something. That's what I want to say it is. Don't hold me to that. Okay, it's giving me a lot of healing items. Which makes me a bit worried. Right. So that symbol point to the right and... Ah, so it's a ship wheel pointing up. Just out of curiosity, has my health bar always been in the bottom left? Or is that just now showing up? For no reason whatsoever. Well, we're not going mad yet. But I think that's about to change. Yep. That's... Uh-oh. And we're gonna die, aren't we? Okay, let's see where we're going. So, they're here. Spooky, spooky, spooky. This opens, there's more down there. I think we're meant to, yeah. I couldn't see that because it was very dark. So go down the tunnel where there aren't enemies, okay. I think my problem is that I went backwards thinking maybe like the backs opened up or something and this was all like a hallucination or something. Because they sometimes do that in horror games. Not good. The more you bleed, the less effective healing items become. Damage to foes is greatly reduced and your health will gradually decrease.
You've come here to find something. I believe it is something we have both desired for a long time. Your presence in this place means that you are willing to do what I ask of you. If you follow my requests, I will take you to what it is that you desire.
Okay, let's use that. And we'll eat some moldy bread. Oh dear, we're gonna have to eat rotten apples, aren't we? Well, it's a bit. We're kind of sort of back. Okay. That's exactly what I was kind of on about though, you know, you go, oh, so, you know, you see the enemies coming out in front of you, you go, oh, maybe it's like a hallucination and I need to go back, and no, there were enemies there, then you run through and they kind of catch you and stuff, and it's like, oh, you're meant to go down the route without enemies. Except until the end, when you have to actually go through the enemies. Little inconsistencies that just kind of be like, You end up dying then to that, and then you end up having to reload, and...
This place, this oasis, we've been here before, but it's not how we remembered it. A sickness has infested these walls, but I believe with your help, we can put a stop to it. On the north side of the island, a mine awaits us. We must reach it, descend into its depths, to the deepest point. Only there is where you will find the answers you seek.
Needs Underhall's key. But yeah, the problem then when you end up losing it a bit, especially when it's just because the game isn't like being obvious with how it's wanting you to go through it. Like one of the big problems with a lot of horror games like this is when you end up you hear something there, like sounds like steam or something puffing. Anyway, it's one of the issues that you get is you then end up with people having to replay the same bits of content again and again, and it scares you the first time, it doesn't really the second, and you've kinda like the fear's gone after like the third or fourth time. It's a weird thing in horror, you don't actually want to kill the player as much as there needs to be the threat of death, otherwise they won't actually be scared at all going through. You need them to kind of just make it through every time, because if they didn't, they end up replaying parts, and when they replay parts, it's like, yeah, that's just kind of it's a bit dull when you start replaying bits, and it gets rid of the scare and the fear factor in that. So you have to be very careful how you kind of broadcast to the player what you want them to do and where you want them to go. And right, is this the way? So that's the underhalls key. What have we got up here then? More rotten food. I don't know if it's this medication, if this medication is worsening. The symptoms aren't going away. If anything, it's getting worse. The brain shivers alone are unbearable. Please tell me there's something else we can try. Doctor, it would be so bad if I stopped taking the pills and just focus. Or would it be so bad if I stopped taking the pills or just focused on the therapy instead? Let me know, thank you. Stim pack. A really big heal then. I'm guessing we'll be leaving when we get the underhalls key then. I think that's the same key we needed for the door above as well, that we went past. Okay, hello. And I did it, I knew I would. I pressed crouch to sprint. Key. Run. Yep, not good. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this is probably affecting my mental state. Now let's get out of here. Okay, now I've got a moment. Use that. Let's try so food reduces hunger, except rotting meat. That reduces health. Medkit will restore 2 bars of health, which we're nearly missing, but not quite. Can be combined with tape, wooden handle and glue, and we can make a pickaxe again. Okay.
They're here, waiting for you. I would not try to dispatch them. You might as well leave them here to fester.
Vodka can be combined with rags. Pickaxe head. And whiskey can be combined with rags, so we can make Molotovs, basically, is what it's saying. And I like... Oh, I can't even attack without a weapon. And he's telling us not to attack them. T, glad you were able to return the contract to me. How would you like to start it next week? We have a lot of backed up work we need to get on top of. Last year was hectic, but 8-6 is looking to be worse. Glad to have you on board. Handle, glue, and a hammerhead. Oh, that's gone nasty sounding. Okay. Small wooden handle, hammerhead, tape, wooden handle, wood glue. I guess we don't need tape and glue, it's either or, I guess. Okay. Oh, we have to place this in here first. Can do a heavy attack, has good durability. And that was good durability. Didn't feel like it. Just keep an eye on that thing underneath it. Gonna say, I mean, we have to try some combat before we finish the demo, right? So what's the durability like then? That's actually pretty good. The one we must have originally found must have had low durability. Pick up the rag. Well, they don't have much on them, so hitting them and killing them, all it's doing is just slowly destroying your weapons. So the way I'm seeing it is... Okay, so we can probably kill... That's taken, I would say, about an 1/8 of it off, durability wise. I would say... Well, maybe a bit more than that, maybe. No. Okay. I would say we can probably kill... I mean, does it show you, like, does it tell you how much durability? No, it's... Maybe more like a 6 or something. We can kill plenty of enemies with it anyway. Probably between another 15 and 20, so if we're using that much durability per. So that was Arrival, we're now loading Decay. Okay. Can't imagine there's many chapters in the demo, that were already pretty long, we're already at 45 minutes. A rock. Oh, we've got a throwable. LB, we can throw something. Nice.
Even perfect strangers are beginning to crumble, 'cause they all want
And that's a new weapon, isn't it? Do a heavy attack. Primary doesn't do much damage. Moderate durability. Throw will throw any item you have in your throwable slot, distract enemies, or throw at their head to stagger them briefly, allowing you to go in for a devastating hit. Throwing a flammable item at an enemy will drench them. If they go near an ignition source, they will burst into flames. Well, maybe not the vodka. Have we got any... Right, dirty water, whiskey... Yeah, there isn't like cheap beer, this is the... Nice. Well, that's the point as well. How's my madness doing? Not mad at all. I'm surprised he's staying on fire as long as he is doing. Right. A little side route here. Does this lead to... No, it leads to nothing. Pressing toss weapon will toss any weapon you currently have equipped. Blunt weapons will do a moderate amount of damage, but sharp weapons will impale themselves into your foes, causing them to stagger for a few seconds. Any impaled weapons can only be collected once your foe has met their demise. And you can't, like, you don't pause the game when you've got your backpack out, so probably very bad. Oh. So I could maybe throw the shiv. Right. Interesting. We're probably going to want to use that med kit now. Right. Lovely. Oh, they like proper sprinted at me then. Heavy attack, because this has got a weak basic attack, hasn't it? Ooh. Oh, I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding. Oh god, the Stimpak causes bleeding and only heals 1 bar. Oh. And it causes hunger. Oh. Okay, the bleed isn't really that high. It's not filled the bar yet, so it doesn't do a full bar. And they don't have separate thirst and hunger bars. It's just purely hunger. Right. Healing reduces 1 bar of hunger. Gives an energy boost. Well, hunger's more or less sorted at this point. It's just healing we need now. which we're going to struggle with. Like, the weapon toss is a thing, but I wouldn't dare, because you don't know what it's going to swap to. Like, I feel like you should have a second weapon slot, so that when your first one's empty, it swaps to that, and then it starts going through your inventory. I actually remember the best implementation of a throwing weapon system is actually on, the best one I've seen at least, is Dead Island. And you would just like toss loads of like knives and kunais at enemies, but you'd have a weapon wheel, so you'd just keep going through your weapon wheel, equipping like different knives and just tossing them. I don't think it wouldn't stop and pause when you did that. It would go into like a slow-mo mode. Now, if I go barging through all this, is that a save station on the desk? I thought it was for a moment. Oh, it is. Handling things in case you need to repair. Or in fact, we don't need to repair, but right. Rag. Oh, it gives you a bandage. Oh, that makes sense, I guess. I thought it were going to give you like a Molotov. You know, maybe you'd find like a lighter later, but no, that makes sense. Oh. Would help if I saved as well before I did this.
Now everybody wants to
And that just
They will
closed.
attempt to hinder our progress. They are forgotten, leftovers of a time long past. They were never meant to linger here. We'll need a key to bypass this door. Head to the graveyard nearby. There's a storage room hidden there.
I'm starting to wonder how far this demo is going to go. Yeah, I prefer just doing that. High damage, use a couple of charged attacks. Cheeky git. It's the bleeding that really gets you. Okay. Ah, parry as well. Need to remember we can do that. And it's already been like, maybe you should drop a save just before this bit.
take my wife if you want to
Okay. Got him. I'm getting into a rhythm of it now. I'm guessing all the vodka is actually to make bandages with. They definitely like hiding in those little corridor bits, don't they? Ooh, he dodged. That was a bit extended range. Do you want it on him? Right, minor healing reduces hunger. Maybe I should just be okay with like a stack of bleeding for a while. Right, we've got 3 bars of health back. Let's try, putting a brick as a throwable. Got 3 of them. Okay, useful. Miller's storage to garbage to surface. Okay. So this separates out, so this is heading to Miller's storage. This is just a dead end, yeah? Right, so I'm reading the map correctly. Now when they're just kind of based, and they don't like dodge and parry and throw stuff at you. I want a big hit here, don't we? I was going to say, because we've got multiple enemies, so we could do a big cleave to hit multiple, but then they kind of stood in front of each other. But hey, we got out of it clean. I will say, when you do scuff it, like they hit like a truck. Careful in case there's some behind as well, because they like to do that. Right. It is a shame you have to leave us. The community of Fort Oasis would not be the same without your contributions. I understand you must leave due to health issues. I am also sorry to hear about Leader's departure. We agree it is very strange. If we hear anything from her or if she returns, we will inform her of your situation as it develops. We hope you can return as soon as you are well enough. Kind regards, Alistair Orwell, Mayor of Fort Oasis. So I guess that's where we are, Fort Oasis.
This place, it used to be somewhere I could be happy. But now, all that remains is decay. Everyone I cherished, swept away with the waves. Nothing will ever be the same again.
He did it. He said the title of the chapter.
Now everybody's welcome to my fella. My fella,
How can they be combined with that?
my fella.
Primary attack only. Has good durability. Low stamina usage, primary attack only, doesn't do much damage, has good durability. Oh, and you can just kind of repair it. Oh, and you can even use the scissors. Low stamina usage, doesn't deal a lot of damage to crates. Primary attack only, moderate durability. So it does want you to open the crates. I'm getting mixed messages about the crates. I've not seen them have much in so far. Yet. It's like you can smash them with this stuff, and you should probably do that. I don't know. I don't want to waste weapon durability on crates. Right. Ah, so the tape can be combined with a bottle. Scrap metal can be combined with tape. Vodka with a rag to create a bandage. I'll do that. Lovely. That creates a shiv. Okay. So you can kind of see in the bottom what it's going to do. That creates a shiv. Oh, cause I get it. Glass shards. I'm guessing this repairs the hammer. Interesting. Okay. Uh-oh. It's got to be nearly dead. Ow. Get. Brick saves the day. Not bad to say we're basically fighting two of them in a knife fight in a little corridor. I think I did alright. And they didn't bleed me for once. That's always nice. Okay. That was worth smashing, I'll admit. Let's see, one heavy attack. I do wonder if light and heavies have different effects on durability damage. Garbage. Utility storage and garbage. So we're in garbage. Go in, hole, loads of X's and a switch at the back. So it's saying go through, don't go in there, go to the switch at the back and then go out.
Take my wife if you want to go that far. My fella, if the whole darn world goes dry, everybody wants to keep them. My fella, my fella, my fella. Hope
So I walked over, I've dropped in the hole, so I should be facing that area with all the X's. And it's saying it should be to my right. Nope. I'm not reading that map correctly. Right, we'll have that as well. Requires a basement key. A way out. Heals 1 bar of health, increases 1 bar of madness. I see. Consume the meds. Make all this go away. Oh, more of that stuff, right. And we have the key. And there's a hole into death. Trying to remember what I was trying to open with that now. Did it maybe open this up here? It did.
Those pills in your backpack. I know you don't want to take them, but we may need a fresh perspective to get back on track. You could take them, and for a while, all of this would fade away.
Still a hole. Still inaccessible. Wait, how much health did that heal? Heals 1. Like, we are nearly full. I'm sure that healed 2, not 1. I'm gonna have to look back in the footage there.
You really don't want to take those pills, do you? Waiting it out won't solve this.
I have taken them. Do I need to take more? guess we're taking more. Well, nothing's changed yet. Still a hole to hell. Now that's different. The room's gone. What? Okay. Oh! I get it. I think I get it. Right. Oh, bloody hell. Well, I thought I did for a moment. Okay. Go through here. Come back. No. Go through here. Yes. Okay. We'll just crawl back into the womb here, and that'll probably be the end of the demo. Does that bring me back out?
Whatever happens, keep moving. Don't let this rot consume you.
Oh, I pressed the crouch button again because it's mapped to where the sprint button would normally be. When you find a new save zone for the first time, interacting with it will restore sanity. Let's find out how much. Literally 3. So that was basically the madness tutorial. So our crate's worth smashing. Let's get multiple in one. Dirty water. Depends how easy to get the pickaxe and things are.
This is where it started. How it all began. I see it clearly now. She was suffocating. She couldn't escape.
Oh. Hello. So we have shotgun shells. The question is when we'll get the shotgun. Ooh, multiple crates. Big swing. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. It's like I just opened 3 crates and I got nothing. And last time I got water. I think maybe they're only worth breaking if they're barring the entrance to a location that has something in it. And you can kind of see what it is. Oh dear. Yep, I did the crouch thing again. There's one round here as well, isn't there? So that's death. Oh, that's a death by cutscene. I thought for a moment, because they weren't moving, I thought maybe these are like they'll show they'll start moving if I look away or something. I thought it were going to be those types of enemies, but yeah, it's, how would I put it? So I mean, it might be just because of the demo, but the intro to it doesn't really set much up. It's not like, oh, I'm so and so and this is and I'm doing this and yada yada. There doesn't seem to be much story other than we get there and there's some just random voice on a walkie-talkie talking to us, and we say nothing throughout, you know, silent protagonist and all that. Vague sort of, I'll guide you to what you want. I would have just gone back on the boat, but so all vaguity to it. It might just be because it's, and it probably is because it's just the demo, so it'll be quite early on. They're probably getting all the story and the cutscenes and stuff put together at this point. I would imagine they're probably still kind of getting all that in the game, and they probably don't want to keep, you know, they probably don't want to give too much away. Very much a kind of typical horror affair. I wouldn't say it's like amazing in any way, but it's not. It kind of does everything I would expect it to. Very claustrophobic, labyrinthine and all that, you know, like finding your way through a bloody rat-like maze of tunnels. Glad to see there's combat. A lot of survival horror game, well, a lot of horror games, and Amnesia popularised this. The idea of, oh, we won't actually allow you to just fight. They kind of thought, oh, we'll make it, you know, and it was kind of new and innovative back in the day, where you have like a roaming monster that you just can't kill, and you just have to kind of make your way through, and do so quickly before it either kills you, so you have to remain stealthy, but then you can't be too slow and stealthy, because then the madness gets you and your character goes insane and all kinds of weird stuff happens, right? So that were kind of innovative and new back in the day, but then everyone copied it. And I'm glad to see horror games going back to like, no, we'll actually put a bit of combat in there, because the problem that a lot of them started doing then, and I remember the second Amnesia game, it was done by a different developer. I think it was like I forget the name of them, it was like the China Room or something. But yeah, different studio did it, and it was basically a walking simulator and there wasn't combat. You have to have the threat of death in a horror game, that it needs to actually be there. Because the problem then is if you don't have that, then there's no tension whatsoever because the player knows they're safe. Whereas if you push it too far, then obviously they end up dying and playing the same parts over and over again. So you need kind of like well placed and positioned save points. Usually just after you've done like a big spooky bit with the monster, you know, you kind of want to save the game. That's like your tension and relief cycle. The save point is the relief, right? You build it up, scare them with a monster, bit of combat, you know, and you ramp up to that by, ooh, here's some health items, ooh, here's some ammo. Very standard, it does it all kind of by the book. The interesting thing it's doing is with the madness pills here. This like, it looks to be like the interesting part of this. So it looks like when you go into certain levels of madness, parts of the level geometry change, and you can kind of change them based on, it looks to be like the direction you're heading around certain corridors and doorways. Like if you enter the doorway from one side while you're mad, it displays a certain, like, this path is open or that path's closed, there's a wall here now. But if you go backwards and head through a different way, you can open up different paths, and that seems to be how it's working, which is, especially in a tight claustrophobic environment where there's monsters and it's all close quarters and you've got these melee weapons that are not necessarily very reliable. And I appreciate that the combat is actually quite satisfying. It's not brilliant in any way. I wouldn't say, oh, this is the greatest melee combat ever, but I've seen it done a lot worse. I remember, oh, what were it called now? Callisto Protocol, I think it was called, wasn't it? They were really trying to do a big thing on melee combat, and it just doesn't work. It looks very flashy and very grim and horrific, especially in the trailers and stuff running up to it. Like, if you watched the trailers for the game, you'd think, oh wow, this game looks amazing. But then you play it and the melee combat is a bit meh at best, and enemies are very spongy even when you're hitting them with your guns. So, I've seen melee done a lot worse. It seems to be doing the trick here. The madness thing's probably going to be what sells the game. I'm very impressed with the visuals, and not just like, okay, it looks nice. It seems to have pretty good, creepy, atmospheric level design. Yeah, the level design, and they keep as much of the UI out of the way until you're actually like in your inventory and stuff, and they keep as much UI out of your way. Horror is always about immersion, and so you do want to do that. I would even go as far as being tempted to just not even show your health bar out actually on the screen. I would just have it get redder and redder, but show your health bar when you open up your inventory, so you can like check your health if you're wondering. And be like, oh my god, I'm about to die. You know, something like that. But outside of that, I'd probably just put blood marks on the screen that get worse as you get progressively wounded. And I probably wouldn't go, and it's always the thing with horror, you don't want to actually explain the mechanics of the madness. I'd probably go further than just, oh, it shuffles geometry around. I'd probably make like certain enemies spawn in the level only when you're at a certain level of madness. I would even be tempted, and it's always a thing, and they're quite difficult to add, but like a roaming boss. Kinda, again, reminiscent of the Amnesia series and other games that kind of followed that on and sort of took it further. So games inspired by that, like Alien Isolation and things. And I'm saying Amnesia. It's as if they did it first. I think the first instance that I know of it is like Mr. X in Resident Evil 2. There might be stuff before then, but a roaming boss that doesn't necessarily obey certain rules of the game is quite good. Like knowing that, okay, this particular enemy will show up at certain levels of madness, and can, if there's certain levels in the game, like, oh, enemies can't, because they're zombies or whatever, they can't climb up, or they can't go into like safe rooms or something, you'd let the actual monster do that, and you would have it just kind of just freak you out when it does. But again, it depends what they're doing with the madness thing. I mean, that might not work or tie into the story or whatever, but I'm curious to see if they do something like that, or if not, what else they do other than just changing the, like, shuffling the geometry around, like, again, like enemy spawns, that sort of thing. But yeah, very good, quite interesting, nice long demo. It's been about an hour and a half nearly. But that's gonna cover it for my next fest. My next fest coverage of Total Chaos. So that one's available to play on Steam. Go and wishlist it if you want as well, if you like what you see, or if you want to try it yourself, you can do. More coverage coming up on the channel. If you want to see it, I would suggest subscribing or giving a look through the recent videos. And I hope to see you in future videos. I'll see you then.